In Texas, we've got a saying, don't start a fight you can't finish. And let me tell you, when a 29-year-old HOA president thought she could evict me from land, my family's worked since the Roosevelt days. Well, not only was that downright insulting, it was just plain stupid. My name's Colton Briggs. I run a cattle ranch in Central Texas, fix my own fences, drink my coffee black, and sign deeds older than most folks' mortgage payments. Some people think bylaws beat property law. I'll tell you right now, they're dead wrong. Ever been threatened on your own land by someone with more attitude than actual authority? If you have, drop it in the comments, because this story's not just about cows and property lines. It's about what happens when folks mistake a landowner for an easy target. And stick around, because things are about to get expensive real quick. I grew up here, 500 acres of stubborn dirt my granddad bought after coming home from the war. He built this place with his own hands, my dad expanded it, and now I'm trying to hang on to what they both left behind. This land isn't just my job, it's my family's legacy. Every morning, 5:30 sharp, I step out on the porch, steam rising off my mug neon blue t-shirt peeking out under my old khaki jacket, and I look out over what 3 generations of Briggsmans have carved out of this Texas soil. A couple years back, everything changed. Developers moved in, slapped down a brand new neighborhood called Pinewood Estates, right up against my south fence, 47 cookie-cutter houses, lawns so green it looks fake, mailboxes, all matching like a parade, and rules for everything. I figured, hey, more people means more business for local shops, better roads. Didn't bother me at first. But you know how it goes. Wherever you get a bunch of folks who like to measure their grass and complain about trucks parked the wrong way, sooner or later, someone's going to show up thinking they're the mayor of the whole county. That someone was Tina Mallory, 29, recently moved down from Austin, single mom, clipboard always glued to her hand. She dressed like she just finished a shift fixing fences, but I could tell those designer shoes had never seen real mud. Always talking about community standards and protecting our children. If the IRS had her attention to detail, nobody would get away with a dime. Within 6 months, Tina somehow got herself elected president of Pinewood Estates HOA. And she took that authority real serious. First time I met Tina was at Cooper's General Store. I was heaving 50-pound sacks of feed into my truck, and she sidles up with her clipboard. "Excuse me, you must be Mr. Briggs. I'm Tina Mallory, Pinewood Estates HOA president. Can we talk about some concerns our residents have?" I set the bag down, kept my manners, even though I could smell trouble from a mile away. She started in about the smell from my cows, the noise from my equipment, worried about property values, and of course the children. I almost laughed. "Ma'am," I told her, "you know what that smell is? That's the smell of tax revenue built. The schools pave the roads your folks drive on." Her smile got a little tighter, but she didn't let up, jotted something down on her clipboard like she was prepping for trial. 3 days later, there's a letter in my mailbox, official HOA letterhead and everything. Read like she watched too many lawyer shows. Talked about environmental impact assessments and community wellness standards. Claimed my ranch was violating noise and air quality ordinances, ones that don't even exist, and said I needed to mitigate the negative effects or face legal action. Signed by Tina and the treasurer, Derek Nash, though I doubt he'd even seen it. That same week, I start seeing cars creeping past my property. Folks snapping photos of my barns, measuring with tape, writing things down. Lois Whitaker, who's been my neighbor 40 years, tells me there's people with clipboards out on the county road. It wasn't just curiosity. These folks were building a case, trying to turn my way of life into a threat. The real kick in the teeth was seeing it all on social media. Tina had set up a Pinewood safety concerns page, plastered it with photos of my ranch, stoking fears about health hazards. Neighbors who'd never set foot on my land suddenly had strong opinions about my cattle. That's when I realized this wasn't just neighborly nitpicking. Tina was making it war. Then came the big confrontation. I was outside loading feed when 3 folks march up my drive. Tina, clipboard held like a shield, Derek Nash looking nervous, and a third woman whose face said she'd rather be anywhere else. "Mr. Briggs," Tina announces, "I'm here in my official capacity to serve you with formal notice of violation." She hands me an envelope like it's a court summons. Violation of what exactly, I ask. Last I checked, this is private property. I'm not part of your HOA. Tina whips out some printouts full of legalese, obviously copied off Google. She claims I'm in violation of residential zoning, posing an immediate threat to community safety. Derek is shuffling papers like he can't find his place in the script, and the treasurer just stares at her shoes. I almost burst out laughing. Here's a woman who's been here less than 2 years, telling me, a rancher with deeded land from 1943, that I need to shut down my cattle. Ma'am, I think you're confused. This operation's grandfathered in since before your subdivision existed. But Tina, she doubles down. According to our research, you have 30 days to cease livestock operations, or we'll take legal action. Her voice has the confidence of someone who's never lost a fight, mainly because she's never picked the right opponent. That night, I walked the property trying to cool off. What got to me wasn't even the legal threats, it was seeing longtime neighbors avoid eye contact. Folks who used to wave now looking away. Kids not coming by to see the new calves. Tina had been organizing behind my back, painting me as the villain. Sitting on my porch, her violation notice in my hand, I remembered something my granddad used to say: "This road doesn't just lead to our house, it's the reason they're afraid of your granddaddy." I finally understood there were things about this land even I didn't know. Next morning, I dug through my granddad's old desk. Buried under decades of receipts and feed records, I found a folder labeled Property Docs Original Survey. Inside were maps, deeds, and letters from county officials. Turns out when my grandfather sold land to the county in the 80s, it came with strict guarantees any new development couldn't interfere with our ranch. And most shocking of all, the current Pinewood Estates development was partly built on land never officially sold. If those maps were right, Tina and her HOA were squatting on Briggs' property. They thought they could evict me. Turns out I could evict them. Tina didn't let up. She hired a lawyer, filed complaints with the county, organized a petition, got 31 families to sign calling for my property to be rezoned as residential. Suddenly, I'm painted as the reckless rancher threatening their children, their investments, their way of life. For the first time, I started to feel cornered, but then I remembered, never let them see you sweat. Instead of panicking, I got smart. I hired Jim Crawford, a lawyer who knows agricultural law better than most judges. He took one look at my evidence and laughed. Said Tina had not only overstepped, she'd broken the law. At the same time, Carol Jenkins, the HOA secretary, called me, said she'd been pressured into writing false minutes, that Tina had lied about county violations and was making up complaints to scare people. Armed with survey maps, official letters, and Carol's testimony, I walked into the next HOA meeting, not as the villain, but with the receipts. Tina was mid-speech about health hazards when I handed out the county's inspection report, said my ranch was top 5% for safety and cleanliness. The room went dead quiet. Then I unrolled the survey map. By the way, I said, your parking lot and entrance road, that's Briggs' land. You've been trespassing for 2 years. The room exploded, people arguing, Derek Nash mumbling apologies, Carol Jenkins stepping down on the spot. Neighbors who'd signed Tina's petition withdrew their names, demanded to see their original deeds. The HOA board voted to suspend all actions against my ranch, pending legal review. Tina's support vanished overnight. She looked like someone who'd realized her house was built on sand. Next morning, I installed bright orange survey markers along my boundary, posted private property, no trespassing signs, and sent every household a certified letter. If they wanted to keep using my parking lot, they'd need to pay a monthly fee. Some neighbors were furious, some apologetic, but now everyone understood who held the cards. Tina, desperate, hired a Dallas attorney, accused me of harassment. Didn't matter, the facts were on my side. Then came the final blow. The Texas Attorney General opened an investigation. Turned out Tina had used HOA funds, thousands of dollars, to pay lawyers and consultants without approval. Her support collapsed completely. She tried to go public, called the news, spun herself as a single mom being bullied by a rancher. But reporters dug up the truth, county records, legal docs, the health inspection. Neighbors called in to say they'd been misled. Even her lawyer bailed. By the end of that month, Pinewood Estates voted in new leadership, signed access agreements with me, and started turning the whole drama into a lesson in what not to do. Tina's house went into foreclosure. She had to move back to Austin, and she's barred from running any HOA in Texas, probably for life. The community better than ever. Folks who once avoided me now buy my beef, bring their kids over to see the calves, ask advice about gardens and fences. The money from parking fees let me fix up the roads and donate to the local ag program. 6 months later, I get a letter, no return address. Just a note from Tina. She apologized, said she was wrong, hoped the community could move on. And honestly, I felt sorry for her. She learned the hard way. What happens when you pick a fight? You're not ready to finish. So if there's a lesson here, it's simple. Know your rights. Keep your paperwork and never let a clipboard and a fake smile push you off your land. You fight back with facts, not anger, and sometimes you end up with more friends than you started with. Now, I want to hear from you ever tangled with an HOA or fought for what's yours. Drop your stories in the comments. Let's talk justice, community, and standing up for what's right.